G'day everyone. I hope you all are having a great day, and if not, I hope I can make your day just a little bit better. Welcome to the fourth devlog on Full Power, a brand new episode that will be introducing new status effects, abilities, and a new totem system. So without further ado, let's jump into the updates. For those who say why add these new features when you could be grinding levels on lore, to that I would reply I just wanted to watch the world burn. But in all seriousness, these new additions will be a core role in the new story levels or campaign missions that I will be adding soon. So to begin adding these new systems, I started creating some pixel art for all the sprites I'm going to need. I created some particle effects, some ability icons, and the new totem pieces. I also wanted the totems to change their color based on what faction they were part of. So that's why some of the sprites are colored whites for them. After the sprites were completed, I started off implementing the status effects. I imported all the sprites and created game objects for each effect. After that was done, I added a dictionary to each entity of their current status effects currently affecting them. Essentially how it worked was as follows. Entity takes random damage, it then looks at their status effect list, then decides not to take damage because it has immortality. The status effects were pretty much completed, but nothing in the game currently gave them. So that's when I added the new abilities. How I did this was I basically used the Meteor script, which was the only spawnable ability in the game, ripped it apart, and put it back together with Flex Seal. Instead of killing everything in a certain radius, the ability would apply a status effect instead. Once all the code seemed good, I ended up not even testing it because I assumed that it worked and moved on to the last feature. The last feature I wanted to add before I'll add the lore and levels was a village progression system. I wanted to add some way that the player could see what their village is developing into, such as a warmongering, peaceful, and other village types. After a village achieves 10 villagers, it may change, but they would gain a totem for their totem pole that would give them different buffs and debuffs based on how they were. So if a village resorted to eating meat and attacking other mobs, they would gain a warmongering totem once they achieved 10 villagers. So for an example of what the totem would do, is that for the warmongering totem, it would give a villagers 10% increase in warriors trained, extra damage for each villager, but it would cause their buildings to have 10% less HP since they are a bit reckless. The system worked very similarly to the status effects system. I set up the dictionary to the villager center that had a list of all totems the villagers were a part of. It was at this point where I decided to actually test and see if everything actually worked. The totem pole system worked pretty well and just needed a few quick bug fixes. The new abilities seemed promising at first, but I did notice the power menu was being a little sus. Didn't really pay much attention to that, so I went ahead and tried to spawn an ability. But after around 5 additional attempts, I got the particle effects to show up, even though they were a little glitchy. Anyways, that's all I have for today. Next upload may take a bit longer since I'm going to try to write lore and hopefully getting a tutorial level completed by then. But thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a great rest of your day.